Greetings once again, my fans. Now, as a few of you have probably realized from one of my previous videos, on My Hero Academia, or probably a few of you, and only a few of you probably know because that video only got 9 views, but still. It does not change the fact that I like anime. It's one of my favorite things. But a lot of people don't like anime. Most people say it's just kid shows and cartoons. It's not, by any means. Yes, there are anime that are made for kids, but those are, while being quite popular, and some of the longest, and in some cases, some of the longest running anime, in history, in the case of Pokemon. Ultimately, most anime are either aimed towards, let's say teenagers would make the most sense, but anime isn't that popular amongst people in America. But anime is great. But there are a few different things that make anime great. Not gonna go into them, but the ones that embrace these are my favorites. And you see, that is what this video is about today. Today I have a top 10 of my favorite anime. Now this is my favorite anime. Not top 10 best anime, not top 10 most popular. My top 10 of my favorites. Now this is open to debate in the comments, but ultimately, it's my opinion. My opinion is, my own. You could steal it if you want, all you want to, if you feel like it, but still my opinion. So, with that in mind, let's go. Let's drop in at number 10. Number 10. The original Dragon Ball series. Now, Dragon Ball Super, is the latest thing, without excluding movies, that has come out in the series. But ultimately, I don't like Dragon Ball Super. Find it boring. But the original Dragon Ball series, it's timeless. It takes you back to the days of Dragon Ball where it's not crazy. Back in the day where, we see, actual martial arts, and training that actually is possible. We see, people actually being martial artists, not godlike beings that can blow up planets with the flick of a wrist. This is back in the days where it was great. Where we see, Goku just being great, and Krillin just being, his best, trying to keep up with Goku. And we see Yamcha at his coolest, back when he was awesome. And Master Roshi back in the days where, he was still the most powerful in the series. Debatably, but still. Back in those days, the most impressive feat we ever saw was Master Roshi blowing up the moon. Well, for a while. But it's just timeless. It will forever be one of my favorites. Even if it gets out of the top 10, I still say it's always gonna be one of my favorites. With that in mind, number 9. Number 9. Dragon Ball Z Kai. Now, the interesting thing about this one is, yeah, it's maybe above the original Dragon Ball series, but yeah, I'm not sure which one's better. I'm just saying, Dragon Ball Z Kai, it gets a slight, bump ahead of the original because it's just good. It's not a classic, but in all fairness, it was the most popular anime in the world, and to this day it's retaining the title, as best it can, with a few things beating it, but understandably why it is so popular. I mean, you just heard the theme song. It was great. It got you ready for the awesomeness that was ensuing. Of course, there are some things that, will always be a problem with it, like, how Vegeta was, at one point strong enough to face Goku, Krillin, Gohan, Grade 8 Gohan, and Yajirobe all at once, and still, not die. Technically retreated, but... And then a few days later, Goku's, easily beating a guy who just killed Vegeta. And then they bring him back for some reason. In all fairness, Vegeta's my favorite character, but even I don't think they should have regenerated him. I mean, even Matt brought him back. It confuses me, but still. So the point is, there are some problems even with power scaling, being nonsense, which makes sense because you can't use statistics in real life because in fighting because fighting has too many variables. But the point of this is, Dragon Ball's awesome. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is awesome. But you see, the interesting thing about this one is, it goes away from the original Dragon Ball where it's just martial artists and and sends it to the Nani levels of extreme. But, ultimately, it's not that bad. I mean, Dragon Ball Super introduced gods who can erase you from existence just by holding their hands up to your face and saying destroy in Japanese. But the point is, this was back in the day, not really back in the day to where it was Dragon Ball, but where it wasn't, so overpowered that it made no sense. With that in mind, let's go to someone whose power is, nonsense from the beginning, and that's the entire point of the anime. Number 8. One Punch Man. Basically, it's just a guy named Saitama who wanted to be a hero for fun, so he just did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every day until for 3 years, and then became strong enough to one-shot everyone with one punch. With only one person actually withstanding a single punch and keeping going, with that being General Boros in Season 1, but he died in a fight with Saitama when Saitama released his finishing move. Serious punch. But technically he didn't actually get punched, it was the shockwave that killed him, but in all fairness, it was still cool. Great fight scene, but... And getting off topic. So, Saitama is just a guy who's a hero for fun. Fights monsters. Really does whatever he feels like. Oh, he's employed by the hero registration, so he's kind of a hero for profit too, because kind of a job. But he also, is just a normal guy, kind of. He cares about, getting great deals at the supermarket. Oh, and he's been teaching a cyborg, named Genos. Which is interesting, because he's starts off as a C-class hero, but then Genos is a Class S hero, ending up in the top 10 ranking. Quite fast, but Saitama at that time is only a B class, and rambling. Ultimately, One Punch Man, it's good. It's a joke anime, but mean, who doesn't like jokes? Yeah, ultimately. Yeah, it's the animes that can joke. Yeah, that can be funny. That end up being the ones that we remember the most. I mean, sure, we all like Baki and like Baki Death Notes, but and probably Black Clover, but ultimately, it's not bad to be a funny anime. You don't have to take yourself seriously to be good. I mean, it's just based off of a joke. Then, going in, right under One Punch Man, we have another anime based off of fighting. I'm starting to see it. Weird. I think I'm starting to see a parallel here. To anime. Up next, we have
I try to rationalize everything. I try to avoid all the unpleasant things.
Yeah, sorry about the bad quality. I'm just searching on YouTube for these things. But next is at 7 is Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. Put it simply, it's about a kid named Kenichi. He's a high school student. He's a wimp. Joined the karate club because he wanted to be strong. Yeah, got challenged to a fight by another freshman for using the bags. Yeah, realized he's going to die if he fights. Runs into this girl he met earlier that day, ends up taking him to his school called Ryo Zenpaku. Yeah, where he learns martial arts from various masters. He learns all Chinese martial arts. Well, they say it's Kempo, but he said master of all Chinese martial arts. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu / Judo from one guy. Karate, not really sure which karate, but Muay Thai, and weapons. Just weapons. Nothing specific, except we have seen, since most of what we've seen is knives and swords, and apparently throwing kunai as well, but ultimately, Kenichi trains and wins the fight against the karate guy. Spoilers. And more spoilers, the referee wants to fight him now. Beats up Kenichi trains, beats up the guy, and then this just keeps going on. Yeah, because every time he beats someone better wants to fight him. Yeah. Ultimately, we learn that that in the end he's going, if he wants to be able to beat, stop having to fight, because he's a passive guy who just likes flowers. He's going to have to fight everyone, until eventually he's the strongest in the world, in which case, no one's gonna fight him. Ultimately, I say it's a great anime. It shows real-world parallels to actual martial arts, to the point where, it's accurate. Ultimately, I'm saying, great anime, great premise and reality. Of course, it takes to the naughty level of extreme like all anime, but in the end, great anime, and I say it deserves our spot as number 7. Now going on to number 6. That sounded weird. Anyways, at number 6 we have probably one of the longest running anime ever, One Piece. It also holds the record for most profitable anime ever too, because of how much merch they sell. But the point is, One Piece, it's about a guy made of rubber because of a power he got from eating a fruit. Yes. Trying to become king of pirates. He leads the ship and is the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. He gets he gets various people to join his crew, such as a guy who's probably based on Miyamoto Musashi, who fights with 3 swords, by holding one of them in his mouth, whose name is Zoro. A girl with who's a thief named Nami, who's good with maps, and a chemist, who is just a troublemaker who's incredibly fast at running, named Usopp, who just has a slingshot. Amazingly, he's probably one of the best snipers I've ever seen, but still. And a chef named Sanji, who ultimately kicks. He's a chef and he kicks. He kicks because he can't risk damaging his hands, otherwise he can't cook anymore. That's basically... he gets more people over the course, but I haven't gotten that much far into it. There are over 1,000 episodes of this series. I'm not going to finish it anytime soon. But, ultimately, so far, I think it's great. In fact, I say... that, ultimately, it deserves its spot at number 6. Because while it's not going to be a classic like Dragon Ball, it's not, and it's not, insane like Dragon Ball Z, I say, it's good. It has plenty of comedy in it, some drama, plenty of, sad parts in it, and ultimately, we see, these characters are ultimately awesome. They're well written. And they have their own different things to them. Sanji has a dark backstory. Luffy. He has his powers and his determination. Nami. Dark backstory like Sanji, but nowhere near Sanji's level. His is way worse. And Zoro, he just has, pure determination. When I say determination, I don't mean like Luffy's. I mean, he's determined to the point of where, he, denies all things that will make him, achieve his goal that would make it easy for the sake of him wanting to do it right. These characters are so well written that I think it deserves to give them the spot at number 6. Even though, trying to get boring at times. Oh, and also, Usopp, he's weak. He's just a smart guy who can run fast. So he has to outsmart and outmaneuver his opponents to beat him. There's this one point where he fights a fish man. He hid in trees, threw a bottle of alcohol at him. And when he caught the bottle, he shot the bottle, covering him in alcohol. And then, firestorm. The fishman went in flames. Then he just bashed him with his hammer until eventually the fishman was done. So ultimately, I think, One Piece deserves its spot at number 6. And then at number 5, you better believe it, baby. Here at number 5, we have... Better believe it. We're going back, to the classics of Shonen, Naruto. By far, one of the greatest anime of all time, and one of my all-time favorites. Naruto, it's, for all of you who somehow don't know what it is, it's basically a show about magic ninjas. That got your attention, didn't it? Basically, it's a world of ninjas with this magical power called, powerful life force called chakra. That allows them to do things called jutsus, by combining with hand signals. Hand signals. By doing this, you can do all sorts of things, such as the main character Naruto's signature Shadow Clone Jutsu, where he multiplied himself. Or his Rasengan, which is just one of those powerful attacks in the show up to where I am. And of course, there are people, insane things like, super strength that people can get. But of course, there's my favorite character who doesn't have the ability to do any of this stuff. He's just pure effort trying to become great, even though he can't do anything. Rock Lee, a handsome devil of the Leaf Village himself. That's what he calls himself. He trains day in, day out because, the people in this anime are so powerful that he has to train non-stop in order to keep up, since he was born without the ability to use ninjutsu, or genjutsu, which is just mind tricks, basically. Because of this, he can only use one thing, which is taijutsu. Basically just martial art. The only martial art in this world. Well, with the exception of Frog Kata, which comes in later in the series. Which is, actually, dependent on another thing, which is called Senjutsu, but I won't go into that. But the point is, that guy is awesome. But he's a side character. Had he been in a more important role, I definitely would have put this thing higher, because he's awesome. And every episode with him in it is automatically a good episode. Except for that episode where he ended up crippling himself. And I won't go into that. To surprise you. It'll just surprise you, like every time. And the point is, Naruto, great series, ultimately. I think, it has a generally good, storyline, too. Main premise is, Naruto, he has no parents, but turns out he has a monster called a nine-tailed fox inside of him. Was sealed there when he was born. Because of it, everyone feared him. Everyone wanted to stay away from him, and he was alone most of his life. With there being only a few people in the entire village who didn't hate him, because of this. Being Hinata, Rikisensei, Shikamaru, and etc. But point is, he was hated. But he wanted to become the top dog in his place called the Leaf Village, which was the highest position, being Hokage. Basically ninja president. So, series shows him trying to become Hokage by becoming the best ninja in the world. Now, I haven't finished the series. So I won't be able to go into detail about what happens later, and I'm not wouldn't want to for spoilers. So this is where we go off. On this one. Now, at number 5, we have probably, number 4, I forgot, sorry, Naruto was number 4. We have a newer anime, which is actually considered one of the greatest, probably the greatest shonen anime of all time, which I don't agree with, but still, amazing anime. My Hero Academia. If any of you remember it from the video I did, a while ago, or just seen it yourself, you'll know this anime is awesome. Basically, it takes place in an alternate version of Earth where 80% of the population have this genetic thing that causes them to have random powers. Sometimes it runs in the family, sometimes it's just completely random. But ultimately, since so much of the world has these powers, people use powers for crime, meaning that some people have to use their powers to stop the crime. Because normal cops aren't going to be able to stop them. What are they going to do? Shoot a guy who can phase through walls? He would just phase through the bullets. What are you going to do? Hit a guy, use a stick to hit a guy over the head, even though man can turn himself into metal? No, what are they going to do? Use handcuffs on a guy who can sweat nitroglycerin and ignite it at will? No, that would not work. So ultimately, the people who stop them are called heroes, obviously. They basically are superheroes of their world, which are kind of like celebrities for some reason. But the point is, Yeah, in My Hero Academia, we follow a character named Izuku Midoriya, or as his rival, I call him, Deku. Yeah, he was born without a quirk. Yeah, meaning that he had no powers, so he was just trying to study heroes as much as he could to compensate for the fact that he had no power, so that he could still be a great hero. Because of this, ultimately, not sure how to say it, but it did not work out too well. Yeah, his notebook was destroyed by his bully Bakugo. Yeah, and then he ran into his hero, who even said he couldn't be a hero without a quirk. But he could always be a policeman or a firefighter. They're heroes in their own right, which, gotta admit, what a cool thing is for him to say. But the point is, Midoriya, being crushed, yeah, decided to give up on being a hero. Yeah, until eventually Bakugo got trapped inside a slime monster, and for Midoriya, acting without thinking, tried to save him. Yeah, then his hero, again, who had just revealed that he, was so weak that he couldn't really be a hero that much anymore, only 3 hours a day, came in, stopped the slime monster, and then told Midoriya that he would pass his quirk on to Midoriya, which is completely unheard of. Yeah, because he needs a person to be his successor. And then, Midoriya trains non-stop. Well, not really non-stop, it's perfectly planned training. Yeah, and then gets his quirk by eating hair. What is with animated hair? Deku needs hair for power, Saitama loses hair for power, Goku grows hair for power, this just keeps going on forever. But the point is, so, see, ultimately, he has to pass it, and he gets accepted into a school for heroes called UA. In the end, he trains to become a hero, but turns out, this new power he has, not exactly easy to use. He breaks his bones every time he uses it. He has to regulate his power, and unbelievably, has to learn how to minimize his injuries. And it takes him forever to even figure out how to use it without killing himself, almost. Oh, and he ends up permanently crippling his right hand. Ends up permanently disfiguring his right hand, during his fight in the sports festival. Yeah, and, it got to the point of where both of his arms were damaged to the point where if he did it again, he would permanently lose usage of his arms, so... But, My Hero Academia, also has villains, with the main ones being the League of Villains. Pretty straightforward there. So, ultimately, villains, heroes, just the heroes have to stop the villains. Yet, in the end, we don't know what happened. My Hero Academia Season 4 is still going strong. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I've been binge watching, the entire series, so I can, watch Season 4. But, ultimately, I'm going to say this. Yeah, great show, and, great characters. I mean, Bakugo's my favorite, but, ultimately, probably getting a lot of hate in the comments for saying Bakugo's my favorite, but, point is, great anime. And, if you guys heard, great theme song, too. So, number 3, we have, one of, the most interesting anime. The 7 Deadly Sins. Now, theme song may not make it seem like it, but 7 Deadly Sins is one of the coolest animes ever. Basically, there's this team called the 7 Deadly Sins. Now, they were framed for for plotting a rebellion against the kingdom, and because of that, they were criminals and they disbanded. But ultimately, the kingdom needed them a few years later, about 15 years later. So the princess, escapes. Yeah, and tries tracking him down. She finds the captain of the team, Meliodas, and goes searching for them. First they find a giant named Yan who was on the team, and then they find Bon, Meliodas' best friend. And then they find probably my favorite person from the entire series, King. He's just awesome. They keep finding people, and eventually the team's back together, but in all fairness, there's been some conflict between the team, but ultimately, pretty good team, except for the fact that Ghost Fairy ruined so much. So eventually they save the kingdom, but then they have to deal with another thing, and then it turns out Meliodas is immortal, and has to, break a curse, and then the final season ends, and then we have to wait for the next season, which we don't know when it's gonna come. I'm sorry about this, just been waiting so long for this next season. Point is, great anime, well-written main characters, and probably one of my favorites. Ultimately, can't really go into much detail without spoiling a lot of the series, but that Seven Deadly Sins goes into number 3. Number 2. Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is an all-time, great anime because while its plot, it's, not that good. Its storyline, it's, pretty good storyline. Plot, well, I'm not really sure what I'm saying, but premise of this, show, amazing. Characters, awesome. Well, most of them. Fight scenes, amazing. Ultimately, there are a few things I would change about this anime. And I can say it's one of my favorites. It was one of the first anime I ever watched, and it's what got me into, and it's one of the things that got me into anime in the first place. Ultimately, there are a few bad things I can say about him. Fairy Tail. So few I won't even go into them. I mean, just look at the main characters. I mean, we have a guy who eats fire, shoots fire, and is basically a dragon. We have a girl who uses magic keys to summon monsters to fight for her. We have a guy who has ice, not really cool there. A girl, who can summon any weapons and armor that she owns, on her to herself at any point in time. That can one punch. That, that is an easy match for the main character. Although he could probably beat her if he tried his hardest. And the point is, and so many more characters that make this anime so awesome. I mean, main character Natsu's obviously the best, but honestly, this anime is just so cool. I can't even think of anything else to say at this point. So, but there is still one better. But before we go into that, I would like to say some honorable mentions. With the first being Black Clover. Now, I have just started Black Clover, and I've heard a lot of bad about it, but so far, it's good. Respectable main character with, with good reasons. Trains hard. This guy's basically Rock Lee. But less cool Rock Lee. A rival I actually can like. For once. With, because he is probably the only rival I will say is almost as good as Bakugo. And ultimately, can't really find much to say, bad things to say about it. Just good. Next, please don't hate me too much in the comments, but Sword Art Online. Yes, I said it. yeah, just gonna say it. Sword Art Online, at the start, it seemed good. In fact, the reason I kept watching it hoping that it would go back to being as good as it was at the start. I mean, sure, it didn't, but I mean, hey, fight scenes were decent. The premise of this anime, yeah, may sound like something that can be great. And ultimately, yeah, until it started sucking, it was a good anime. Think about it like as if it's, the Star Wars movies. The original trilogy, amazing. And then we had the prequels. They were watchable, but they weren't that good. You'd say they had some good fight scenes, but not much. And then we had the new movies. So bad. That one was Sword Art Online 2. Couldn't stand it. Especially the ending. How could Kirito lose to someone so stupid, even though he's so overpowered? But the point is, ultimately, Sword Art Online makes an honorable mention because the starting was decent, and I watched it all of it. And then, as our final honorable mention is Baki. Not Baki the Grappler, just straight Baki. Basically, just 5 death row inmates escape from their execution, go to Tokyo wanting to taste defeat, and end up, fighting in kind of a tournament, kind of not. Basically, the only tournament thing ever that has no rules, because the only rules are meet up or attack whenever you want, do whatever you want. Just win. Or lose. Really, it's just not really that matter. But ultimately, good anime. We haven't really seen Baki push. I haven't seen Baki push to his limit, but I haven't finished the series yet. Ultimately, so far, good anime. But, nah. Ultimately, don't think it's that good. That's why it only made an honorable mention. Yeah. And now that that's over, finally go back to, let's finally talk about my number one favorite anime of all time. Death Note. I'm pretty sure this needs no introduction. Death Note is by far my favorite anime. For the first 25 episodes, we have the greatest battle of wits to be seen ever. We see the world's greatest detective versus the world's greatest serial killer. By seeing both of them going against each other, it's ultimately so great. L always seemed 3 steps ahead of Light, but Light always managed to play catch up. Just seemed so good. Then there was that one fight scene, which, albeit not that good, but in the end, ultimately Light does win, but then we all lose. L gets replaced by his 2 predecessors, Mello and Nier. Mello dies and we get stuck with Nier, who ultimately is not that good. But ultimately, because of L's work and Mello's, Light does eventually lose. In the end, Light ends up being killed, and the series just goes down. The series is over, nothing more. Well, I mean, if you read the manga, it might have some more in it. I didn't watch the anime. I mean, I try reading manga, but my school library only has so much, but point is, great anime. Most of it was amazing. But in the end, the story just fell apart. But it still makes it. But because of the 25 episode to 37, that were so great. We see. That we see that it was still great enough to be considered number one, at least by my standards. So those were my top 10 favorite anime. Do you agree with my list choices? Do you disagree? Well, let's hear what you had to say. Tell me your opinions down in the comments. Tell me if you agree, tell me if you disagree, tell me if you agree on some, tell me if you disagree on all. Just say something in the comments. I want something. I want to see what other people think. Maybe suggest some new anime for me. Yeah. In the end, the anime community, we're as a whole, whether you're an otaku or a weeb, we can all agree that anime is just great. And if you're not in the anime community, I strongly suggest that you try watching anime. Yeah, maybe check something out from my list. But I wouldn't recommend just straight up going in with Death Note, because that's not really a good expectation of what anime truly is. Yeah, amazingly high quality of what it is, and its darkness. Yeah, would not mix well when you're also watching when the next thing you watch is something like Fairy Tail or not 7 days, or a lot of animes that made the list, but ultimately, yeah, I strongly suggest watching anime. Yeah, it teaches you a lot of lessons, and in the end, anime is just great. With that, Random Man signing out.